Hello again, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome to the vehicle overview for Call to Arms. This will feature the vehicles for both US Faction and the GRM. We're going to get started with three of the light vehicles that the Americans have: the Humvee M240, the Humvee 2HB, and the Humvee Mark 19. The vehicle in the front you see there is the M240, which is loaded up with the squad automatic weapon, it looks like, and it's obviously a real good fighter. It looks like it, but it is much different than you'd think. It's the M240, as it says, the M240, which is why it's loaded with that. The Humvees do have the capability to hold a crew of 4 men, or possibly more. At this moment, it seems to just be 4. So obviously, a driver, a gunner, a commander, and an extra passenger, so these guys can load up and drive around very easily. You can see there somebody in the turret, so there's obviously 5 then that go in there, so 5 plus the total of 5. The crew is set to 3 currently, but I believe that's a glitch, and that's kind of why that guy jumped out there. But there should be a driver, a gunner, a commander, and then 2 passenger seats, so this thing should be able to zoom around no problem. It's got a pretty good speed. Strange little sound to it. It's like a putt-putt engine, but you can see there on the turret that it's got several windows too, by the way, so you can look out and see enemies. Those are bulletproof, obviously, as well as a couple of mirrors on the sides as well, so that way they can see behind them. Very good detail on that unit. Has a different camo than you'd expect for the desert, but who knows? We may be fighting in many different landscapes, so very cool maneuverability on that vehicle. I like it a lot. So obviously you guys are here to see some big guns, so let's fire the real weapons. Now you've got your 50 cal, the M2HB, which of course is loaded with the M2HB, and so we'll go ahead and fire off a couple of those. Whoa, it looks like the Humvee over there is on the move. He's on automatic move, so he's on patrol. We'll go ahead and shoot at some enemy insurgents here. And he's down. So you can see some real nice big explosions there on the ground. All the blasts from the M2HB is really awesome. Like it a lot. There's no difference between the vehicles. They're all the same speed and all the same crew. Only their armament is different. And of course, with the Mark 19, you have a grenade launcher here, which is the Mark 19, and again a crew of 3 and the speed of 40. And we're going to go ahead and fire that off. Obviously, that's what that car is for. So let's give it a couple of shots. Oh, there we go. We hit it right in the engine that time. So obviously you can cause a lot of damage to vehicles and such, but if you hit it in the right place, that thing is going to cause a tremendous explosion, and anyone who would happen to have been around that vehicle would have certainly died from the explosion. So a little taxi there taken out. Additionally, there are going to be helicopters in the game, but unfortunately at this moment they don't fly or really do anything. So I know, little Humvee there. We're going to bring him to a stop there. So that's some of the vehicles. Again, future for helicopters that I've also seen. Speaking of helicopters, let's go across the way here. I've seen a couple in the map editor as well. You have yourselves the Hueys here with both strange looking textures. They're not high def yet. They don't seem to be fully HD yet. So you can see here just the 2 different types that are carrying some weapon pods and Gatling cannons. So I don't know if they're going to be implemented in the future, but additionally, this could be an enemy helicopter over here as well for the GRM. They get the MI4, so that would be really cool if they did. And so we'll see, again, low-res textures, so I don't know if it's going to be a placeholder or what, so that's some speculation there on aircraft. But anyway, let's move on to some vehicles that are a little faster and a little better than those Humvees, or maybe not faster, but definitely more heavily armed. We've got ourselves, oh boy, what do we got here? The Stryker ICV. We've got the Stryker ICV Mark 19 and the Stryker MGS. These are the M11 2826. Looks like both of these are the 26, and then there's the 28 there in the Mac. A crew of 3 on these, which means, by the way, the crew is 3, which means that it has to have 3 men inside of it to operate properly, and then 12, which means it can hold up to 12 men in total. So fully loaded, it has 12 men within it, and it has a speed of 42, which is slightly faster. The armor between these 2 vehicles is the same as well, even though one looks like it has the tusk on it. It is the same. The armor is between 10 and 19, and I don't know if that means 19 at its thickest and 10 all around, maybe 19 in the front and 10 everywhere else. I'm not exactly sure how that goes, but the Mark 19 and the MGS are pretty much the same as well. There's no difference there, except for, of course, their gun. So one of them, of course, the ICV here, can load up with troops and is armed with a 50 cal on top of it. and it's basically an APC. It's an ICV, an infantry combat vehicle, so it can go anywhere. I don't know if amphibious vehicles will take play in this game, by the way. I'm not sure if there'll be large bodies of water that can only be crossed by these vehicles, but we can test it out just as we tested out that machine gun there. So obviously the heavy machine gun, we've got ourselves the grenade launcher. Oh boy, boom boom. And then of course we've got our MGS. Now let's go ahead and test this out a little bit more. I don't think we sufficiently destroyed that vehicle. Now of course with AP rounds, that pierces armor, so if you're looking to blow up a car, you want to hit it in the right place if you're going to make it explode, and you also want to use the correct ammunition. You can actually hear the ammunition being loaded, so let's go ahead and fire off. Nice. Awesome, cool explosion there. So over there you'll see the Bradley and a couple of Marines. We'll get to that in a minute or two. But for now, yep, obviously the game's not completely finished. So in the future, there's no problem with this thing being able to knock down a guardrail. So this is subject to change, of course. The hitboxes are all a little weird. We should be able to knock over some of these concrete barriers with tanks, but it's a no-go at the moment. So I don't think I'll be able to sneak over into the water and test that out. But still, an awesome unit, and let's just give it another shot. Oh, beautiful. Love the explosions in this game. They're just rich, and there's just stuff goes flying everywhere. It's awesome. So there you go, the MGS right there, the Stryker MGS. So we'll go ahead and park over here with this one, and we'll show you guys the Bradley. Now, of course, ATGMs are the main feature of this Bradley, but unfortunately, at the very moment that we're recording this, there's not any ATGMs in the game. That's not to say that there won't be in the future. Of course, the BMP-3 and other units should be able to fire ATGMs, but unfortunately, this at the moment is only loaded with the M240 coaxial and then the APC. I don't know, actually, I don't know if this is a multi-purpose round. I wanted to say AP or HE, but it looks like it's just an autocannon in general. Obviously a very effective weapon too, by the way, and I'm not sure of the caliber on this. I don't know if it's 20 millimeter or 30 millimeter. I'm no expert, so I'm just trying to show you guys the vehicles here, so please do elaborate down below and look at the armored kit on that. That's beautiful, man. That really looks awesome. And again, we'll just fire off some shells into some vehicles here. No real big explosions, so obviously something that you want to use to disable light vehicles, kill infantry at a distance, that kind of thing. In fact, you know, if you had some infantry behind cover, that's the weapon you want to use. It's like a 40 millimeter on wheels from Men of War Assault Squad, if you remember that. That was one of the best units in the game for clearing out heavily defended positions and such with using direct fire. You could clear out buildings and entire towns by just using that. So the greatest thing that I've seen about this Bradley, and one thing I'm really liking about Call to Arms, is the detail on these vehicles. Obviously this is a micro game. You can zoom all the way in and you can see the damn viewports for all of the drivers and the soldiers and the gunners and everyone else, and all the infrared equipment and everything like that. It's just absolutely awesome. And one of the coolest things is that this thing, by the way, this heavy tank, as they call it, which may be adjusted in the future, the M2A3 Bradley, holds a crew of 4 and up to 10 men with a speed of 21. So not so fast, but definitely heavily armored compared to some of the other vehicles. It can take a hit or two, and you can see here the Marines. You can actually, it is a little glitchy, you know, the guy over there is going to cry in the corner, but you can actually see the men piling in and out of the vehicle, and you can see them sitting in the back on those benches and everything like that. So it's cool that that door opens and everything like that. I've been having difficulty in campaigns I've been trying to make to keep these guys in there, and the same with the Humvees. So that'll all be worked out later, but it is awesome that we now finally have military transports of this magnitude that we can keep men fully enclosed and not worry about losing them as easily. So you can actually zoom behind enemy lines, start hitting them hard with the autocannon while the Marines are spreading out, causing havoc elsewhere. Really awesome to see. So we've also got down here some Navy SEALs and a boat. Now I'm not sure if the boat will just be something here they call it, I don't know, the inflatable or something like that. Whatever the in-game name is, we'll have to see. But obviously these guys can hop in it and pilot it. I'm not sure if it'll just be a single-player only thing or if we'll actually have some maps like that. But this is, that doesn't actually say. It does in the description, but who really cares? We've got a gunner in the front and the back that he can stand. And it doesn't look like it's actually working right now. But really cool that, I think it does move. Yep, it does. So really cool that they have some more boats in the game. Something you didn't see in Men of War Assault Squad, only in the original Men of War missions. So, obviously, I've been teasing at it, you've been seeing it, and I'm sure you want it, the Abrams. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have the M1A2 Abrams, and of course, the M1 M1A2 Abrams Tusk. We're going to test both these bad boys out. Of course, the Abrams and all. By the way, the vehicles are evenly matched, where the GRM vehicles hold the same number of crew and are pretty much capable in the same lights as the M1A2. You'll see what I mean in a moment, but the armor here is 40 to 150. The crew is 5, which means a total of 9 men, by the way, can sit on this tank. So you can have 5 men in the tank and then 4 sitting on the rear of the tank. So you can have kind of an assault group move up where the Abrams punches through a wall and then a couple of guys jump off and try to cause havoc again. So let's load these guys up and let's move the Abrams around a little bit. Again, strange in this game, you are able to tip over vehicle barriers such as these with an Abrams, but you can't necessarily crush a car. So you'll see here just a second. I'm gonna get this thing moving. I'm gonna switch over to HE as well. Got to show you how awesome that gun is. And again, it doesn't tell us anything about the gun. The machine gun is the M2HB, but the main gun is the it looks like the 88mm KWK-43. So I don't know if that's the actual designation of it or just something that's a placeholder for Men of War. I don't know. But one thing we shouldn't be able to do is just tip those things over like wood. And then, of course, the car crushing time, everybody. Hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah down in the comments. Fuck yeah. Maybe that's better. But awesome. Really cool to see that. So, again, vehicles, they kind of freak out a little bit. Sometimes I've had some just kind of go under the tank and, like, freak out. That one was a pretty good crush. That was a good crush, too, so we're doing real good. So let's go ahead and open fire on one of these buildings now. Let's see how effective these are at stopping shells. Yeah, not so good. But it did destroy the cover, which is cool, by the way. Cover is destructible in this game, and so are the houses. You can either shoot at them and blow the hell out of them, which did a little bit of damage. Look at that armored house there. That's like a damn bunker. Or you can just drive right into them. Keep in mind, at the bottom of the house, we can't actually punch through that. It seems to be indestructible. But you can actually drive through cover and buildings like this, but it's going to be a little glitchy here for me to actually do that. We should be able to collapse the house if we get close enough. There we go. There you go. Look at that. And awesome how there's like dust and fire and kind of just a whole mess that happens when you do that. So you can see our Abrams here, but we can't actually cross through the house. So if you're thinking that, the enemy position, we're going to just drive through it, yeah, you can't exactly do that yet. Again, alpha, everyone, so please do give them time to perfect all of this. And they're doing a really good job of doing a lot of different things. And it's going to be awesome to see different types of camo for different types of territories. You can see the driver's port is still open, and you can actually, if you look closely enough, you can actually see that the vehicle is hollow. You can drive into some bushes, and you'll see the grass right in the driver port there. You see that? Yeah. So, all right, our tank's not destroyed or anything like that. It's not that bad. But anyway, let's test out the Tusk 2. And by that I mean as well. We've got our Tusk, the M1A2 Abrams Tusk. Let's go ahead and fire. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, over here we have an enemy unit. Looks like a T-80U. Let's go ahead and see if we can pop them. Look at the armor on that, by the way. That is a side shot, and look at how heavy that thing is. Again, all armor and everything is subject to change, but let's give it a shot. An absolute deflection. Let's go ahead and try it with a... we do have APCR rounds, by the way. So we're going to go ahead and move up on this vehicle, see if we can hit him in the ass. And again, the sounds and everything will change. It sounds like a little tiny lawnmower or something moving up the way. And obviously the armor on this thing is a little too powerful, but that'll all be worked out in time. If you did see my video, by the way, Operation Nail Gun, we did play on this map as well, Dam, to destroy a few of these, and we got lucky by destroying them with C4 up close. So anyway, there is the Abrams. There are the vehicles. We've also got a mortar team too, by the way. Don't forget those. Though they're not a vehicle, they are still like an emplacement, something that I want to go over here. So let's quickly launch a little bit of a barrage at wherever we see necessary here. I think this enemy box of something's over here is giving us the stink eye, so let's go ahead and open fire on them. And let's see if we can do that. Attack ground, by the way, is what you want to do. And we should fire away at it. Really cool. You can do volleys this way. Mortars are extremely effective. Of course, getting the enemy dead behind cover, that's exactly the type of thing you want to use. They're not so good at destroying cover, but they're definitely good at pinning the enemy down and killing them, by the way, if you get a lucky hit. So awesome to see the mortars. Oh, yeah, there's a good hit right there. Stuff goes flying with the mortars, so it's absolutely cool when you're getting mortared or when you're using the mortars. I mean, it's absolute hell on earth. So awesome so far. We're going to look at the GRM next. Here we go. And welcome to the GRM, the Global Revolutionary Movement. We've got several vehicles for this faction, which makes them both affordable and fast. These are going to be obviously the two factions for the game to start with. As I may have mentioned, USA and GRM are for starters, and of course there could be other factions as we go along, and of course the more you support this game, the more likely they are to add things like that, and of course we can mod those in. We've got the armored vehicle technical PKM. Not sure exactly how armored this is. Armor is 5 and 5, and though this may not be as powerful as some of the vehicles you saw previously, like the Humvee, this is going to be more affordable, probably faster, even though the speed is 40. I'm sure they'll pump that up a little bit to give it an advantage, and barely has any armor, though it has a PKM machine gun on it. Let's go ahead and test that out on some barrels. Yeah, effing badass. So we've got this loaded up with some mercenaries, by the way, or rather some militia, and so they are holding that with the PKM. Additionally, though, they do have the, speaking of additionally, they have, what is it, the Dishka? No, it is the Cord 6P50. I've never heard of that before. The Cord 6P50 looks like a Russian tank gun that you see on some of the tanks. I'm not exactly certain, but definitely a 50 cal weapon to compare to what you saw in the Humvees. And obviously that does a hell of a lot more damage than that other puny weapon over there. Look at that, it's actually got a muzzle brake on it. That looks like the 50 cal sniper rifle. So obviously for those of you who play COD, you're probably used to that. Alright, so there you go. So you can shoot through, by the way, pretty much anything with this weapon. In Manowar Assault Squad, you could just destroy cover with that. And you can't necessarily do that here, but I'd like to see that in the future, weapons doing a lot more damage. Though you can shoot through hay bales and stuff like that, any enemy behind cover is not going to last long. We also have a self-propelled gun, a technical SPG-9, so we can load this up with a couple of our friends here and see what kind of damage this thing can do. I think we got to go out and destroy an enemy hay bale here and see what happens when we do that. We can't load different ammo types, just it's marked as an anti-aircraft gun, so there's only one ammo type here, and it is a rocket. It's not just a shell or anything when it fires. It actually is a rocket with a pretty good reload time. Let's go ahead and see what kind of damage we can do. Oh yeah, so this can rip right through walls and such, and really cool, by the way. I wonder what the range on this is. 50 meters, looks like, oh, not too long, about 50 meters. Looks like it's about probably 55 meters. Oh no, looks like it up to the 60s. So let's go ahead and blow a hole in the house here. Nice, very good, cool weapon. Obviously, if you're sneaking around trying to get behind some sort of Bradley or something like that, this can turn 360 very quickly too. So if you plowed through a wall, came up behind an enemy tank, and there it is, it's dead, that kind of thing. So very cool weapon, very nice. Obviously it works because you know, real life armies use those, and so it's a real y'all. It's a real. So let's go ahead and go over to some other units here. We've also got in play. I should turn this over to start mode, but let's go ahead and look for our BMP-3, which is over here. The BMP-3 is a capable troop transport, just like the Bradley, except it's got a little bit more. It's armed with a PKM and obviously has an autocannon as well, but that's not indicated in the game. I think in order to make things a little bit more accurate and fair, this should have an autocannon and a main cannon, while the Bradley has the autocannon and the ATGM. We'll go ahead and see how they adjust things, but anyway, this can hold a crew of 4 and up to 11 total, and the speed is 21, so that's pretty similar to the Bradley. Let's go ahead and load these guys up and see what it can do. We'll blow up a few things, and we'll load up these assassins in the back, by the way. Damn, those guys look badass. They look like riot control police. So let's go ahead and get these guys loaded in. See if the back opens up. It does not. And their heads even pop out and everything, so don't worry, they'll fix this. Of course, it's going to look goofy for now, but it's all in good fun, and it shows that there's a lot of promise to come in this great game. So it looks like actually there's another passenger that sits up front. Interesting. So anyway, let's go ahead and blow some things up here, and let's see what we can do. Obviously, armor piercing is going to go right through the house, and if we fire off HE, that's going to blow it up. This is about as fast as the Bradley too. It seems like it should be a little faster, but everything will be adjusted, of course, and that's all for fairness of the game, you know, and trying to bring some sort of balance for those who want competitive play. And of course, this vehicle too is very capable of plowing into buildings and destroying anything that it seems, or that it deems necessary in order to get the job done. Again, no autocannon. We just have the looks like the coaxial, hull, and hull PKM. Apparently it has 2 hull machine guns. That doesn't seem right. Okay, oh, I see. Oh, wow, look at that. There's a little machine gun on the side. I had no idea. Oh, it actually has 2 hull machine guns on it. I had no idea. I thought it was going to just be like one in the front. So there's one on the left and one on the right. And then they're both PKMs, and then the coaxial machine gun. So you definitely don't want to get in front of this thing. That's a damn rolling death machine. That's awesome. And then, of course, the coaxial machine gun that can turn. So, wow, that's really cool. Awesome to see that. Now, of course, you're here for something much, much bigger, much more awesome. And, of course, that is the mortars. No, I'm just kidding. But we're going to show off those mortars anyway. You know and love them, just like we all do. Mortars are really cool. Oppressive weapons, suppressive weapons, depression. They definitely bring you into depression if you get on the other end of one. So let's go ahead and show the water who's boss. We're going to go ahead and fire off some shots. Again, this is the Pondus, by the way. I don't know if I named off what the American one was. I think it was the 252 or something along those lines. This is the 2B14 Podnos. Sorry, the Podnos. And so that, of course, that's got a equal rate of fire. It's very similar to the American mortar in terms of range and explosive power and such like that. So awesome. All right, now of course the real reason you're all here, the tanks. Yes, of course, we've got tanks here. They are big, they are bad, and they are awesome. We've got the T80BV and we've got the T80U. The mortars are celebrating with just a ton of fun here. Didn't mean to bring that up. My apologies. All right, so we've got ourselves a T80B and a T80BV, or rather BV and a U. And, of course, we were trying to shoot at the T80U earlier and had no success whatsoever. Of course, the T80BV is armed with, well, yes, look, 88mm KW K43. So it's a placeholder. It also has the NSFW. No, I'm just kidding. It's the NSVT, and it's got pretty much the same as the Abrams did in terms of crew 5. 9 in total, so it can actually hold a few more men on the back, I believe. No, that's 4. So it's all similar and all very cool. Let's go ahead and get this bad boy on the move again. Going through houses is one of the coolest things you can do in a tank. Just plow right through and destroy something. But again, I don't know if they'll implement T-72s. I don't know if they'll implement auto loaders for tanks like the MGS. You know, if it'll have a higher speed or a higher rate of fire. We're going to go ahead and see if we can take out this windmill, by the way. Let's see how high up we can shoot this thing. The turret aims up pretty high and it goes down pretty low, so very, very good clearance for that gun. Let's hit that windmill. Damn, indestructible. It's too powerful, you guys. It's just too powerful. So obviously, and there's like a tree stump in the back for stability. That weighs it down. I'm just kidding. I'm pretty sure that's for changing tracks. So we have our T80U here. Let's go ahead and get that loaded up. And of course, I keep the crews outside so you can kind of see how they load up and how many men need to be inside this tank to make it operational. These tanks, too, by the way, can fire ATGMs, but again, not implemented. They only have a coaxial anti-aircraft gun. The anti-aircraft gun is the NSVT and the PKM on the coaxial. And then, of course, our main gun, which we're going to go ahead and fire at that Bradley over there. How'd that Bradley get here? Let's take a shot. No damage whatsoever. So again, the damage models will change in time, and of course the Bradley it's not ready yet. You know, obviously we should be able to destroy the turret of that thing, no problem. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can hit him in the front, see what we can do. But it's just a sitting target for now. Definitely good for target practice, and the main gun ranges are probably the same between the Abrams and this tank as well for balancing purposes. At probably, I don't know, 100, 200, something like that. Looks like it can fire almost 150. Before it's out of range. So anyway, really cool. And again, we can't go over these barriers. That's something that's going to change. So, you know, be patient with that. You know, we just get stopped immediately, which shouldn't be the case. But even with that armor package, that tank should still be toast completely on that Bradley. So definitely awesome. They the GRM, the Global Revolutionary Movement, doesn't have as many vehicles, it feels, as the Americans, but they have a lot more purpose to each of their vehicles. So definitely cool to see this in this game, in Call to Arms, and I'm really looking forward to seeing ATGMs, machine guns, perhaps some mounted grenade launchers that you can bring out onto the battlefield, stuff like that. Lighter vehicles, a lot more lighter vehicles, and more tanks, damn it. So tell me what you think would be a great vehicle to add to the game down below. What do you want to see in the future? What do you think would be good? What do you think would be bad? We did see, by the way, an A10 in the menu. If you come here to into the menu, you can actually see the A10 Warthog. It's a very 50s style, but it is a vehicle that does move and such. You can actually drive it around if you wanted to. You can tell it to move and it'll just bump into things and explode. But it does show that either A, it's a placeholder for future missions where you raid an airfield, or there's going to be some serious aircraft in this game? Could it be the next, maybe a smaller version of, I don't even know. Could it be War Game Red Dragon? Could it be Air Land Battle? Could it be just, you know, just a special unit like a call-in or something like that where it just targets tanks, like for instance, World in Conflict? We really don't know. So tell me what your hopes are down below. Give them some support. Give them some suggestions too, by the way. Delta Dude and Instinct, I believe, watch these videos, and they're really appreciative of our feedback and such. And we want to make a great game, and by we, I mean the players, and by them, the developers, and that makes a great experience for everyone. So anyway, until next time, keep your password and pimp hand strong. And I've got an A-10 to destroy. Get out of my way. I'm gonna bump into it. Oh, he's not moving. He's too strong, you guys. He's too strong. Oh, that's the concrete barrier. Crazy dinosaur. All right. So anyway, you guys be cool. Thanks for commenting down below. Thanks for liking. And until next time, again, password and pimp hand strong. Out of my way. Yeah. I'll see you guys. Oh, I got him. Oh, crew injured. What? Oh, it's a mutual kill. Oh, listen to that. What the hell? JU-87. Okay. Bye, guys.